This is one of the panels that I've seen a lot of agreement on so far as I've listened to you. I spent most of my adult life working in education policy at the state level, most recently as lieutenant governor. And before I left, there were 5 priorities that I was either leading or working on. One of them was making sure that the science of reading was universally accomplished across all of our schools. A lot of schools were doing it. Now it's the law of the land. You have to do it. It works, and I hope everybody in the country will do it. We also worked on eliminating cell phones in schools. It is, I think it's the single most effective policy that every school could do immediately that would improve the mental health, the culture, the outcomes for that particular school. Every principal that you talk to, I was worried when we started it, will they push back? They all embraced it. Families embraced it. You hear kids say, yes, thank you. I didn't want to have my phone taken away, but now that everybody doesn't have a phone, it's great. I hope everybody in the country will pursue no cell phones, smartphones in schools. Also, incentives for outcomes for our schools, particularly in the career centers. This was a thing that we really were pushing. The idea that everybody graduates high school career ready, that they have a job skill to leave. Doesn't mean that they can't do that and go to college, but you at least have that job skill to rely on. And we've seen enrollment increase. And one of the things we did is we actually gave incentives. More, if you graduate more students with a career credential, we will increase the pay to the schools that do that. And that has seemed to work very well. And then finally, an AI toolkit. AI is disrupting education in many ways. I know we sometimes can focus on the negative aspects of it, which are real. However, I think it can be a great tool so that every child has access to a tutor 24/7, 365 that can walk them through how to learn a math problem, things like this. I know that it's very helpful, and I see a lot of heads nodding. Those are things that I think should be immediate priorities, but I want to get to the NAEP piece. I don't know anybody that went to get a job and said, well, what were your NAEP scores? I do know that when people go to get a job, they say, how well can you work together as a team member? Do you have a specific technical skill? Can you show up on time and reliably be there, which is why some of these issues regarding, are we measuring the right things in our education system? And if you're not measuring the right things, then you're probably not teaching the right things. And I'll start with Dr. Hanishek.
I think that it's very complicated what the set of outcomes we want out of schools are, but we know that the things measured by the NAEP scores are rewarded in the labor market systematically. The U.S., in fact, rewards these skills more than any other developed country in the world, which if you just reverse that, it says we punish the lack of those skills more than any other country in the world. And so, yes, we want to develop those other skills, but what we know works and has a huge impact is increasing the basic fundamental skills measured by math and reading tests that we commonly take.
Okay, and then quickly, what is it that we can do? What are a couple of suggestions you say universally should happen to increase those outcomes?
Well,
if you believe that's
the answer of the whole panel is that effective teachers are effective, and that's what we have to pay attention to. But we don't pay attention to effective teachers by just raising all salaries.
Yeah, and so you're hitting a key point there. Somebody with 10 years of experience in a school who is the worst teacher typically gets paid the same as somebody with 10 years of experience who's the best teacher.
That's precisely the story, and that if we just keep doing that more and more, we'll have happier teachers, but we won't have students that know more.
Dr. Jenner, I see your head nodding.
I know, my nonverbal is pretty strong. So we're sort of measuring the right things. I think we have to continue having NAEP. It allows us to see state to state. So when you mention what Alabama and Louisiana did, I can call their state chiefs and say, well, how did you do that? What did that look like? I think that's important. We're missing several things, though. We're hearing more and more people, especially business and industry, talk about skills. As states, we don't know how to measure skills at scale yet. Several of us are piloting, but communication, collaboration, civic literacy, I could go on. I can see you're leaning in.
And I know my time's up, but I will just say this. That's why I think career tech education in high school is such a great thing, because kids do hit the point where they're like, I don't see this as relevant. But if you give them the ability to engage in something that actually catches their interests, then they'll engage. Then they see a pathway and why it matters. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.